Welcome to Dancin Moon Songcast. I'm Scott Simpson, casting from Dancin Moon Studio in Spearfish Canyon on the north end of the Black Hills of South Dakota, right on the banks of the Spearfish Creek. If you'd like to follow along, you can download a free PDF from my lyric book from scottsimpsonmusic.com/lyrics, and of course you can find links to all my music there as well. So let's get casting and find out what song we're going to talk about this time. Well, welcome to Dancin Moon Songcast's first episode in 2020. We're going to be listening and talking about a song called Cracks today. It came out on 2018's Gravitate LP. So we'll give that a listen and then talk a little bit about it on the other side.
What is broken in me is open in me. Where you see me split apart, yeah, you catch a glimpse of my true heart, my true heart. True heart. It's song that opens the cracks. Each beat divides me from back, yeah. I'm opened up by melody. I'm laid bare harmony. With harmony. Unmusical days limp by. Instead of dancing, they heave and they sigh. To stay intact is not to act on beauty. Act on beauty. To act on beauty. I want to live disintegrated, out full of holes, obliterated, into shards, released at last, into beauty. Into beauty like colored glass, colored glass, colored glass, like colored glass. That's what's open in me. Where you see me split apart, yeah. You catch a glimpse of my true heart. 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 My true heart.
So that's Cracks from 2018's Gravitate album. We're going to get into the lyrics here in just a little bit, but I really want to start out with an acknowledgement of the inspiration, and you may have recognized it, but really what inspired this song were some lines from Leonard Cohen's anthem. They're pretty often quoted, but I feel like I ought to begin by reading those lines. Again, Leonard Cohen from Anthem. Ring the bells that still can ring. Forget your perfect offering. There's a crack in everything. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. So I was made aware of that those lines several years ago. I think actually before listening to the song, they were quoted to me as I think I've mentioned in other episodes that I'm a facilitator for a group called the Center for Courage and Renewal, and we facilitate retreats and things, and utilize a lot of songs and a lot of poems and things like that for circles in which we have conversations, open up engagement with each other, and anyway, that sort of thing. And that's where I first came across these lines of Cohen's, and the idea here that if you're waiting to make your offering until it's perfect, or if you're somehow thinking that the perfect offering has no imperfections, then you've missed the point. There's a paradox, I think, that Cohen is getting at, that the offering is what makes it important, not the perfection of the gift. When we offer something, whether it be to a friend, to a loved one, to the world, to the universe, to God, to whomever, it's the authenticity of the offering that matters, which means cracks and all. And it's not just that the cracks are acceptable because, it's the best he could do. Leonard Cohen goes on to point out that the cracks are how the light gets in. There's something paradoxically beautiful about the imperfections. There's something paradoxically inspiring in the cracks, in the places where something has been broken. Being broken doesn't make something less. Paradoxically, somehow, being broken makes something more. Now, it's hard to look at it that way because no one likes being broken. No one likes revealing their imperfections. No one likes having their imperfections pointed out to them. But at the same time, as artists, perhaps as songwriters, perhaps as musicians, as singers, as artists of any sort, I think part of what we have to recognize is that there's something knitted into the fabric of whatever it is we make that is maybe not what we would have set out to do. It's a byproduct of the fact that we're human. It's a byproduct of the fact that we're imperfect, and yet that is the very thing that gives my art, your art, the thing that is being created. That's what makes it valuable. The imperfections, along with all the rest, worked into the fabric of it. That's what makes it worthwhile. And that's really what inspired this song for me. And it's a song specifically about music and about the making of music and about what that means. But it's also a song about identity and who I am and what that means in relation to music. So we'll take a look at the lyrics for Cracks now, and I'll talk a little bit about them and talk briefly about the music itself, and then call it a good start to a new year. Cracks. What is broken in me is open in me. Where you see me split apart, you catch a glimpse of my true heart. My true heart. What is broken in me is open in me. So the worst thing for an artist or for a human being is to be closed off. To say, this is it. This is the end. There's no more give and take. There's nothing else coming in, nothing else going out. I'm closed off. What's broken in me is open in me. Therefore, that's where things can come in. Certainly, there's hurt that comes in. There's pain that comes in, but there's beauty that comes in as well. And there's a space for it to go out. Sometimes we want whatever we put out to be so controlled, so shaped, so perfectly formed that we just become incredibly insecure about doing anything. And that's an awful place to be as an artist. You have to have this trust in the universe that you can release it, you can let it go, you can put it out there, and there are going to be a lot of reactions, but it's the confidence that the universe is better off because we do that, because we as human beings have these cracks and we open up and we let things out, and others get to experience them, and others get to engage with them, and others get to engage with us around them. And that's how relationships are made. What is broken in me is open in me. Where you see me split apart, you catch a glimpse of my true heart. There's nothing more authentic. You won't see something more authentic than when someone has lost it. And I mean that not just in the negative sense, not just in the fit of fury or anger or sorrow, but when someone engages with the world or with others with true abandon, not self-consciously, but just opening up, just letting it out, just a true, authentic utterance, expression. When you see that, you're seeing a piece of that person's heart. I wouldn't say you're able to see the whole thing. You'll never see that. You'll never be able to sum somebody up by an utterance of theirs or by something they've put out there. But you'll see a glimpse. You'll catch a glimpse of that true heart there. It's the next verse. It's song that opens the cracks. Each beat divides me front from back. Yeah, I'm opened up by melody. I'm laid bare with harmony. With harmony. And the focus of this song really is, for me, the nature of music and of song in my own life. That the places where I'm broken open, where I feel very truly authentic, quite often, not always, but quite often, have to do with music, have to do with melody and harmony, have to do with the beats, have to do with something that's very, very authentic, very real, very open to our senses, and yet at the same time, not so perfectly shaped that it's manipulative, that it's agenda-driven. I know that everything that's produced by human beings has some sort of agenda behind it. But part of a beautiful piece of art, part of a beautiful expression of creativity is that it is open, that it may be bringing an agenda, but it's also open to your agenda. It's open to inviting you as a participant to break open, to engage in the way that you engage. And so the next verse. Unmusical days limp by. Instead of dancing, they heave and they sigh. To stay intact is not to act on beauty. Beauty. When I think of these unmusical days that I was writing about here, I think of the humdrum days, the days in which it's not that they are completely unmusical. It's that I am shut off to the music. I truly believe there's music, there's creativity, there's beauty all around us all the time. But on days when I'm kind of nose to the grindstone, you got to get this business done, checking off the hours and minutes and getting it all. Those days are not dancing, they're limping. Those days are heaving and sighing. And part of what we do, I think, is we have this idea that we can stay intact, that we can if I could just shut off the beauty, shut off the engagement long enough to just get this stuff done, then I'll stay intact and I'll get the business done. I'll get it done. But staying intact is not the goal. Being vulnerable seems to me to be a better goal. To be vulnerable to the moment, to be vulnerable to beauty as it strikes me. Even in a work setting, especially if creativity or creative thinking is part of what I have to do, I have to stay open to that. I can't just keep it all together, stay intact. I've got to be vulnerable to inspiration, to something that happens that might insert some new idea, some new direction, some new bit of importance into what it is we're trying to do. And I think that's a problem that we have in workplaces. It's like paint by numbers. It's like, okay, what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? And we stay in step. We stay intact. And we miss the inspiration of whatever might be happening around us, whatever the universe is offering us that may give us some new, fresh perspective. We miss it. And so we get into the bridge next. I want to live disintegrated, all full of holes, obliterated into shards, released at last into beauty, like colored glass. Colored glass. When I was growing up, I grew up going to a little church that we did have stained glass windows. It was kind of our tradition was not. Our tradition was to be non-traditional. Our denomination was to be non-denominational. Our church was definitely not high church. It was low church. But the little church that I had, there was at some point they asked someone to design the building, and they did design these stained glass windows, but they were very abstract. And in fact, they weren't attempting to depict anything in particular. You know, some stained glass windows, you go and you know exactly, well, there you go. That's Christ on the cross, or that's the Virgin Mother with the baby, and that's okay. Well, that's you know, whatever scene, whatever key piece that the picture, the window is trying to depict. Well, these were literally broken shards of colored glass, and they were absolutely beautiful to me. I remember in church being just distracted by them and just looking at them, and they were similar, but all of them were, each one of them was different. Each one of them was different, and they were like they seemed to me to be like randomly broken up pieces, shards of colored glass that then had been put together. And they made the shapes they made, but the light coming through just was really beautiful. It was a beautiful mix of colors, and so that's kind of what I was thinking about. I want to live disintegrated, all full of holes, obliterated into shards, broken apart by what happens in life, because broken open is where I want to be, and I want to be released into beauty, like colored glass, like something that is spontaneous and remarkable and singular and couldn't be repeated even if we wanted to. Seems like that's what a human life is. And maybe we should recognize that and appreciate that in each other. The brokenness and singularity of any human's life, the colors. So we move through an instrumental section at the end of that, and then wrap up with kind of a repeat of the first verse, but a little different. What's broken in me, that's what's open in me. Where you see me split apart, you catch a glimpse of my true heart. My true heart. My true heart. And my true heart repeats several times to the end. Kind of a long, slow fade to the final chord. So my true heart is what gets repeated over and over again. And if you put together the idea of the cracks and being broken open and my true heart, our true hearts are broken hearts. Our true hearts are broken hearts. And that's not something to be avoided. It's something to be cherished. It's not always without pain. In fact, it's almost always with pain. But it's also filled with beauty. It's also filled with inspiration. It's also filled with insight, with wisdom. The wisdom that comes from pain, from being broken and being open about it, and allowing people to know that brokenness of yourself. Sharing your story of brokenness and being willing to listen to another's story of brokenness. And so I'm so thankful for Leonard Cohen and this idea that there's no perfection in the offering. there is perfection in the brokenness, that being perfectly broken is the beautiful part of being human, of offering something, whether you're an artist or whether you're just a parent or a spouse or someone who is a friend, who is a loved one, or someone who is just a human being. Offering that which is broken to the universe, to the world, to others. That's the best we can do. And being open about it. And being open to accept that gift from others and to see it and to appreciate it for what it is. The brokenness of being human. So this song originally, I put it out in 2015 in a limited way. Some of the facilitators for the Center for Courage and Renewal, we had a number of us put together songs, and I kind of brought them all together, and we put out an album in a little more limited way. And this song was one of mine that appeared on that album. I did do a few changes to it in getting it ready for this for the Gravitate album. I kind of reopened it and looked at it again and did some fresh mixing. It is primarily acoustic guitar. There are some. I did have a wonderful time putting together the strings that are in the background, orchestrating those strings, and they seem to lay down a nice background for the straightforward and simple, very simple set of two or three acoustic guitars, and it seems to embody both the simplicity and just the loveliness of music in general, which is really what I wanted to get at. Music has been such an incredibly important part, and sometimes it's still just I get frustrated with the music part of my life. It's not something I could ever give up. It's something, though, that continues to frustrate me when there's not time, or I do have time and I'm not in the right space to do it, or I'm not recognizing that beauty, or I'm feeling very vulnerable and not willing to be broken open right now. So I'm certain that all human beings in one way or another struggle with these things. So there we have it, Cracks from 2018's Gravitate LP. I really appreciate you joining me for another episode, our first of 2020 of Dancin Moon's Songcast. We do put out an episode every Friday from right here in Spearfish Canyon at Dancin Moon Studio. I also want to encourage you to follow us. Follow me, Scott Simpson, on Spotify, on Apple Music, anywhere where you like to stream your music. Also, you can visit www.scottsimpsonmusic.com. Find links to all my music, lyrics, and everything else there. I genuinely hope that your 2020 is full of wonderfulness, and that you are broken open in beautiful, beautiful ways. Be well.